We're also being joined by Sunil Gavaskar on an OB. Sunny bhai, hi, how are you? You missed a rather dramatic moment, well, not on a cricket field, but out here. But by virtue of the fact that I did hit Dada over extra cover, means that he now gets a dancing lesson from Ranveer. So, one of those dramatic moments in the cricketing world.
I did see a bit of that. And that was pretty nifty footwork from Dada.
You think so, Sunny bhai?
Dada's footwork has always been terrific.
But you think so, Sunny bhai, the other part was good, the dance part? You genuinely think so?
The dance part, that's what I'm talking about. The dance part is what I'm talking about.
Thank you, you made my day.
Particularly the last one, where you were sitting in that wheelchair, where you didn't have to move your feet. Brilliant, that was the best.
And here for a moment, I thought you were talking about my footwork. Much to my sorrow and disappointment.
Well, against Dada's bowling, you don't need much footwork.
So do I take that as a compliment, or do I take that as
you should take that as a dire insult.
That I was useless?
We should take that as a
well,
dire.
Anybody who's got the first 3 wickets of a test match, like you did at Eden Gardens, and all caught behind, so it wasn't as if the umpire was giving them out. I mean, you deserve more respect as a bowler.
Thank you, Sunny bhai. Thank you.
Ranveer, any questions, comments for Sunny bhai as he's joining us?
Hello, sir.
This is Ranveer here.
How are you?
I'm on top of the world. How are you?
I'm almost there.
So Sunny bhai, I have to tell you that where we are at right now is that we'd already done 600 schools in the earlier seasons of Support My School. 31 more have been added so far, so we are at 631 schools. Our aim is by the end of, well, if not by the end of the day, then certainly within a few months, we hope to try and get to the 1,000 school mark. And of course, continue to create awareness, because we can do whatever we can, push everyone else, other corporates, push the government to try and do something to ensure that schools have basic facilities. So your words on that would be really important.
Yes, I think it's absolutely necessary, because we've seen so many schools. All of us have been through schools, and I think there are certain facilities which we know have been lacking. And when you're looking at a modern India, an India which is in tune with the rest of the world, I think particularly for the disabled, their education is important as well. And I think for them, like Ranveer said earlier on, I don't think there are enough facilities. I can talk about the stadiums in India. That, you really don't have sort of access for them to get into the stands, easy access for them. I think that's something with modern stadia you need to do. And I think similarly at the schools, you need to do that so that they're able to go to different levels, the first, second floor of a school without too much of an issue. The subject about having different toilets for boys and girls, such an important aspect. Again, I think that's such a necessary thing, particularly for kids who are growing up, particularly for the women, the young girls who are growing up. I think it's such an essential aspect. So I'm so happy that you all have taken the initiative, and hopefully the 1,000 will be reached very, very soon.
Right. Dada, any comments on anything else, like for sporting facilities, and how do we encourage that?
As you're aware, Sunny bhai, that sports is so important part of growing up. When we went to our schools, we had the big schools and big areas to play sport. But a lot of these smaller institutes, especially in the villages, and I've been to some of them, they don't have the basic financial capability to set the sporting infrastructure. You reckon any way they can further develop it and keep that going? Because I feel along with your growing up, along with education, sports is very, very important.
It is. It's very, very important, because it teaches you not just how to win, but also how to accept defeat. And in life, there are going to be days when you're going to be winning and days when you're not going to be winning. And I think how to cope with that is such an important aspect. And sports teaches you that. Sports teaches you also, I think our game, for example, our game cricket is such an important game. It teaches you, how to live in society, because, a top batsman, when he's batting with the number 10 and 11, he's got to take care of the 10 and 11 who is not as accomplished as he is as a batsman. And similarly, when it is bowling, it is the fielders who've got to make sure they take the catches, and the other side, the bowler has to give support. So similarly, I think, because it all works down to teamwork, and therefore, to inculcate that kind of a situation at the schools level is important. And how do we do that? We can do that by, first and foremost, a lot of schools have limited space. But even in that limited space, if some sort of a play area can be created, that will certainly help the students. A lot of the students generally have this situation of just study, study, study. Maybe if they can get to a situation where after a bit of study, if they can have a play area, that will help them.